Welcome to the Wednesday, August 18th, 2021 Elyria Board of Education's meeting. I will call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, could we please have a roll call?
Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Elick?
Here.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Here.
And Mrs. Seguin.
Here.
Thank you. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. At this time, I will have introductions. To my far right, I have Board Member Elaine Seguin. Seated next to her, directly to my right, I have Vice President Jim Bax. To my immediate left, I have Board Member Greg Elick. Next to him is Board Member Mike Gebhardt. Seated next to him is our Superintendent, Ann Sloss. And all the way to the end is our Treasurer, Joy Clickinger. At this time, we're going to pass board recognitions and presentations to visitors' comments. Tonight, we have signed for visitors' comment Will Rogers from 7629 Murray Ridge Road, and he's going to be speaking on, I really can't read this.
Mask.
Oh, school mask. Okay, gotcha.
Or other options.
Sorry, I just couldn't read the writing here. Thank
Sorry.
you. You're fine.
I just want to start off by saying I have 3 kids in Elyria schools. They've been through Kindergarten Village, Oakwood, Crestwood, Westwood. I've always been very happy with Elyria City Schools. I've never had a reason to come to a board meeting before, because I've always been happy with the job you've done, and I'd like to commend you for that. My concern is with the mask requirement or lack of one in this school year. I've sent you the paperwork from the CDC, American Academy of Pediatrics, and the Ohio Health Department. All of them recommend that there be a universal mask mandate in schools. I've talked to the health department on Monday. They said it's up to the school board to issue a mask mandate. Are you? Is the school board planning, considering having a mask mandate? And then for those parents like myself who are uncomfortable sending their students into school without one, is there any type of option that we could have like we had last year where it was remote? Is there any other type of option that we could have? Or, the Lorain County JVS has a mask mandate. My 2 oldest children are there. They're in 9th and 12th grade. Constellation Schools, the charter school in Elyria, they have a mask mandate. I guess, what is the board's view on masks and whether that's going to be a requirement, and do I need to pull my daughter out of school in Elyria and enroll her somewhere else?
Okay. Would you like to?
And Mr. Rogers, I know
Roberts.
Ms. Higgins has, or Roberts, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Ms. Higgins has written you several times in response, and we've talked. We are formulating our final plan, and it will be out Monday. As you know, we don't start school until after Labor Day. So one of the reasons we're waiting a bit is things are changing daily, and we wanted to get the most up-to-date information. We've been meeting as superintendents, working. I know my colleagues in North Ridgeville and Avon announced their plans last night, and they start next week, or this week. We're formulating those plans. The board will then get my recommendation and look at that, and we'll have those discussions. So, that'll be, what happens from now until Monday.
Okay, because my concern is, if I were to do a remote schooling option, the majority of those programs have already started. And so, you know, as you're aware, I've been asking about this for quite a while. And I just need to know what I need to do so that I can get my daughter in, you know, either
Sure.
safely here or enrolled somewhere else.
Sure. As soon as we have the plan, we'll make sure we notify you, okay?
Okay.
I have your email, so,
All right.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to E, which is board member discussion items. Are there any discussion items from any board members? No? Okay, moving on to the minutes. The minutes have been posted. I will entertain a motion to approve the Board of Elections record of proceedings for the meeting of August 4th, 2021, as detailed in enclosure F1. May I please have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Gephardt. May I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Elick. Are there any questions on the minutes? None. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Ms. Karstafen?
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. G is the treasurer action items.
Thank you, Madam President. I just have a couple things this evening. The first one is the monthly financial reports. And secondly, we have a depository agreement with Northwest Bank. And that is all I have this evening.
Thank you. Could I please have a motion to approve the items recommended by the treasurer as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Elick. Could I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Segwin. Are there any questions? No question, Madam Treasurer. Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Ms. Karstafen?
Aye, thank you. The motion stands. At this time, I will have the treasurer's report.
And I do not have anything this
No
evening.
report? Okay.
And there are no OFCC or facility construction items either.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to K, superintendent action items.
Thank you. First of all, to approve the payment of stipends to the following people listed below. Also, to approve the payment of stipends for the following under pupil services stipends for training. To approve the purchase of 2,684 Chromebooks as not to exceed $755,000. This is contingent on the application we turned in for the Education Emergency Connectivity Fund. So it'll only be spent if we get that application approved. Next, to approve the Oberlin College Recreation Facility Agreement for our swimming team. And that concludes my action items.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to approve the items recommended by the superintendent as presented?
Move to approve.
Moved by Mr. Bax. May I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gephardt. Are there any questions?
That is the swim team, we didn't do anything last year. Right?
Correct. We were at Mercy, though, in the last previous
that's
year, and then
right. Okay.
we're moving back to Oberlin College.
Okay.
Okay.
And are those Chromebooks like to replace the ones we had last year, or?
So I do want to commend our community, our parents. We had a phenomenal return rate
Okay.
on our Chromebooks, but we want to continue to replenish. We have enough to start school, but we know some of them are a little older than others. And the one thing, commend Mr. Kokai and his IT department, we've had a succession plan in place since we started using Chromebooks years ago. And we did not have a problem during the pandemic because of that. So this is all part of that, and whenever we find grants or anything, we sign up.
Because there is no virtual option, right? So the kids will all be back, but they'll still get a Chromebook now?
There are options, but for specific
Reasons, or?
reasons,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Do all the kids get Chromebooks?
We are, with everything we learned this past year, teachers are using technology even more. There will be Chromebooks going home with our students this year, every day. Whether the teacher assigns it or not, Mrs. Matthews, do you want to add to that?
Sure, so starting in grade 3, the students, they take them home if needed based on the assignments or schoolwork that they're doing, and then we'll have a designated number in our preschool and kindergarten classrooms, and then first and second grade will also be one-to-one, but we'll keep those at school.
Oh, good. Great.
No other questions? Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Ms. Karstafen?
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Next would be the superintendent personnel actions.
Thank you. We have to approve the retirement of the following certified staff. Elsa Paisani. She's been with our district 21 years, but she's retiring with 32 years in education. We wish her well and thank her for her service. To approve the increase in the substitute pay to $135 a day for this coming school year. I do want to say that right now, we only have 24 subs signed up, the lowest ever. So we wanted to continue to be competitive with the rates that are out there, and this puts us at the higher end in the county,
What was our rate last year?
105.
105. Okay.
But what we did is for certain classes, it was a bit higher, but now we're going just to a flat 135, which makes it much easier for the treasurer's office. So we're going to promote that and make sure, and maybe we can grab a few subs from another district. To approve the appointment of the following certified staff is detailed below, and we do have a few that are here, so I'll introduce them in a bit. And then to approve the athletic supplemental contracts of the following certified and non-district employees. To approve the following district and non-district game workers for the upcoming year. To approve the contracts of the following community engagement liaisons. As you remember, this is part of the school quality improvement grant, and they are working for the homeschool relationship. It's a wonderful position. To approve the resignation of the following classified staff as listed below. To approve the appointment of the following classified staff as detailed below. To approve the appointment of the following security resource officers that we do every year so they can work games and SROs. So that concludes my personnel action items.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to approve the personnel action items as recommended by the superintendent?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Gebhardt. May I please have a second?
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Second by Mr. Bax. Are there any questions?
The sub, how does that compare with other districts now? I thought
There's
everybody was like
the only
105.
one that I know of in the county that's higher than us by $5, and the rest are lower now. They go anywhere from 90 to 140.
Okay.
So
Are we seeing any issues with the classified staff, with the general lack of labor out there?
absolutely. And if you remember, towards the end of last year, we raised the sub rate from $9.50 to $12.43. So we had said at that time we were going to look at our certified sub rate at the beginning of the year. So across the board, we still have 3 teaching positions open that we're interviewing for that just came open, and many special ed paraprofessionals, regular paraprofessionals, cleaners, personal attendants. There's a lot of work in Elyria City Schools, so please,
Okay.
we've been putting it out everywhere.
Do you
Okay.
believe that compensation was the major factor with subs?
I think with all, if you just drive down the street and see some of the fast food offering bonuses and the higher rates and everything, yeah, I think it's competitive now. And that's, we have to be competitive with them, and that's one reason we raised starting last year.
Ask about
Yeah.
subs or classified?
I'm speaking of the subs.
Yeah, subs in general. So Classified, I think the 1243 is much more competitive now than the 950 was, obviously.
Yes. Good. No other questions? Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Excuse me. Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Ms. Karstafen?
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Is there a superintendent's report for us
There
this
is,
evening?
but before I do that, I
Oh,
have
yeah.
two very nervous teachers out there. First of all, Katie Nemes. It's kind of a funny name when Christy Sawyers is sitting next to her. Yeah, but she is, I believe, Christy's late sister's daughter. Am I right? Okay, so she is joining us. Kerstetters from the township, basically grew up. So welcome, an Elyria grad.
Yes.
All right.
Great.
And then she will be at Hamilton as an intervention specialist. And then Rachel Long, she did a long-term sub last year for us and did a wonderful job. And she is here and ready to go. I saw her dad. Her dad is, if any of you go to Nick Abraham, it's Russ.
Yeah,
And he's ready to get her out of the house, he said. So, yeah, so welcome both of you, and we wish you well, and you're going to love being pioneers, so.
Very nice.
All right, and then yes. And then as far as my report, we had to make a decision today, and I think it's a good decision. Mrs. Higgins has worked very hard, but we are moving the date of the tailgate. We have never done one before school started before, and I think it's hurting our ticket sales pretty much to almost nil because teachers and staff aren't around. So we moved it to October 1st, which is homecoming night. We think that'll be a great opportunity for people to come back, have a gourmet burger and brat together, and more to come on that. So we had to make a decision today before all the advertising went out.
Cool.
Also, I want to say kudos to academic services, pupil services, and everyone else involved. The August programming, we have a lot of students out there doing wonderful camps last week, this week, next week, and it's going so well. And they're doing things that they don't normally get to do during the year. So the teachers all came in, a lot of them, and gave their summertime to do great things with our students. So thank you, and thank you to the staff. And then this weekend, I have no doubt in my mind, everything is going to be red. We are playing EC at the stadium, and I think last year we won, and I think we're going to carry on that tradition. So 7 o'clock, EHS, Ely Stadium at Mercy Field. Did I get that right? Out there on Middle Avenue, and we hope everyone can make it.
Good.
That is it.
Thank you. Board of Education, we have the board policy, the second reading for our board policy for our interscholastic extracurricular eligibility. May I please have a motion to approve the second reading?
Move to approve the second reading.
Could I please have a second? Mr. Bax is the motion. May I please have a second? Second by Mr. Elick. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Ms. Karstafen?
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Next, we have an executive session. I will entertain a motion to enter into an executive session to prepare for negotiation or bargaining session with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment, and for the purpose of considering the discipline or dismissal of a public employee with possible action to follow as authorized under Ohio Revised Code, Section 121-2. May I please have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Gebhardt. May I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bax. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Ms. Karstafen?
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. We will now enter into executive session with possible action to follow. Correct?